interesting. Tristana Kaisa, obviously the premier double AD composition, was hit pretty heavily coming into Worlds, just between nerfs on both champions as well as Ivern getting taken down a peg a little bit. But now instead we have the Victor, but there were so many games in their playoffs that were decided by big Baron flips, ultimately. And that's something that's going to count against them, is now Robo forced to flash out to safety. Excellent play from Kiaya thus far. Howdy. Trying to get out, trying to sidestep, but they're just taking their time. Wait for the charm. Easiest first blood setup ever. Levi now sees the Lee Sin in his jungle. Pullback gonna come through. Now the Q2, Q3, big damage, and again.
As Route, who's just free farming the bot lane, grabbing turret plates just for existing and having shoved basically, and winning lane phase against Slater for the second series in a row.
Slater has to be careful here. Chaos going in the hook. Now 10 ounce with the follow-up. Dash out to safety. Fancy. Oh, 10 ounce! Taking down Slater. It must be Rain and Blood on the bottom side. Caudy next on the menu, but he manages to get down a nice gravity field. Locking up 3. Good damage back onto 10 ounce. Trying slowly but surely to cut through the R, and he's going to get him. The max range death laser. He might be a little early on the spell sheet. It might not matter, however. He's trying to use him as a hook out to safety. Croc committing to the play. He's got the War Drinkers available as well. He wants to finish it, but again, the gravity field. Caudy. W after W. They're not going to be able to do a lot. Herald is going to charge here. Some nice money to have. Ulti coming out. We saw this play just a couple minutes ago. Robo once again able to make it out to safety. Pull back. Kiaya now going over for the follow-up.
Get that extra distance. Not able to get it done, but Robo doing top lane things. Losing lane, winning game. We're chilling. Absorbing pressure.
MasterCard lane economy snapshot. Bam, this is the moment where we took the picture. Tiny lane gap.
Therefore, Robo was actually able to just take top turret for free.
Yeah. And now, Tinon's going to be able to grab this tower. Top turret down, obviously from the side of Loud, but they might fish for the dive here onto Robo. Again, trying to punish one of the weaker sides of the map. Nocturnal coming in, Ignite already ticking. Early Ignite just to make sure there's no Aatrox healing, but out he goes! World Ender out to safety. There's no wave there really either to play around the tower, so they're going to try to push for more. But now Kazante, can he hold on? Slater off in the area. Croc getting over aggressive, a kickback. Oh, he's going, trying to finish the job. Croc, no! Oh, his mind was telling him no, but his body was saying yes, 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 and all of Loud saying no, no, no. That play did not work out. Little Lee syndrome costing him here as 10 ounce. Finally dashed down to safety. Charm, he's got a bit more movement to come through, but the play will fizzle. Caudy on the top side will finally break the tower. Robo stepping forward. Infernal Chain's going to be avoided. Yeah, strong. Just going to step in, pull the Lee Sin back. They're going to try to one-shot the jungler as quickly as possible. Croc had a fantastic early game. But now he's just getting knocked down. Pallet flash out to safety. He's safe for now. Robo getting pulled back. Tino's waiting over the wall. They can't quite find the angle. Nocturne going in. Feathers are going to fly. Levi needs to be flawless with spell shield timing, but he's not even going to get the opportunity. Levi finding one, another coming through. Robo getting pulled over the wall by Kiaya in the fights. GAM is so good. And I just feel like that play on the mid lane, he got ahead of himself. And you talked about the back, like he dropped out of vision just in time. Pallet stepping forward, just maybe hoping to catch Croc out. Of course, Lee Sin.
Kaisa ability is a champion that can kind of build anything, but of course, that doesn't mean it's optimal.
Sure.
And in this game,
there's to further press their advantage. A second TP now coming in. Nocturne to sow a little bit of chaos. Rakan immediately going in, but the feathers fly up, and so far the disengage has come through. Caddy immediately going to try to flashback out from route. The entire team forced to disengage. It is Robo versus the world, and Robo's doing all right thus far. Kicked over the wall. Croc now re-engage coming in. Tino's one more charge left on the dash. Needs to get the kill, needs to get the resets. Robo on the backside, maybe he can do it. Tino's going forward, wants to find the kill. But again, despite all of their efforts, Loud cannot find the angle, and it is all falling apart. They managed to get out.
Brute force that fight, multiple teleports, the Nocturne ultimate, and honestly, Loud did a great job kiting that
run in. Blue Trinket going to spot out the dragon happening. Not a lot to be done here, but again, Loud were able to fish for the fight here. Tino's walking out, marking the flank, spotting it, but Tino's
didn't see him.
Didn't see him. Clean play around the vision, and instantly it just goes down. Flawless coming in from Slater there, as now the fight's going to continue. A bit of a slow siege here. The kick back, the knock-up going to deny it. It's going to stop it, everything again. Loud cannot find the angle in these fights. Route's still standing, but everyone else is falling down. Robo trying to buy space for the 80 carry. But Route's just not allowed to play the game. There is no room for the Xayah to maneuver. The featured matchup be damned, he does not matter. GAM breaking through, very likely to take at least an inhibitor. Will not be able to push for the win. It's just too early in the game.
Yeah, 15 seconds on death timer's not going to be able to get through both Nexus turrets afterwards. We'll see if they can even grab the inhibitor. Looks like they're going to back off for now after Route has
need to play it well, but they have all the tools they need to end this game in their favor. And Loud don't have the tools to turn it back in their favor unless GAM misstep.
That's the pain did
It took so long. This item has been stupid for so... I just want to say, as a long-time Abyssal Mask enjoyer, it does not matter what I think. The fight now breaking out. Problem.
Yeah, they have a lot of tools to get in quickly should the enemy team try GAM. If you do give them alone time, they can melt through it.
Yeah, stepping forward. Immediately they'll GAM pull the trigger. They try to find the angle. Levi on top of the back line. Everybody running. The entire team split. A beautiful pullback coming in from Kiaya. Croc now left all on his own, so Pal going to get immediately kicked out. Croc buying a bit more space for his back line, but he's already down. Slater ults in, and Kiaya does not care, baby. Get the Casante coffee pastas ready. This guy's making it happen, but Route desperately holding on, trying to fire back. Kiaya needs to be careful about stepping forward. Route, blast.
I'm ready to try and heal through this. Oh my god, my health bar. Started off by Levi, of course. Going in there, kind of splitting the team up with that gold that he got. We'll see probably one more desperation play.
One more pullback. Sante again, unaffected by damage. Does get hit by the pullback. That's big. That could be a solid start to the fight. Again, burning through Kiaya, getting lower, lower. Massive shutdown for Loud. They need to pull the trigger. They have to fight. They're not going to get a better opportunity than this. But they can't afford to fumble. Nice cleanse coming through. Robo on the front line. Maybe this is their opportunity. The Victor damage is massive, though. Burning through the entire team. Levi finally going to re-engage, and Slater, it's his time to shine. His time to take over. A single pick, not enough. GAM now breaking their way into the base, bullying towards the Nexus. I don't know if they want to risk it here. Instead, happy to just have 2 inhibitors and walk away. In fact, it's not a massive threat, but when you have to fight into the Victor, the game is so much harder. And in goes the Nocturne. Zaya already feared, waiting over the wall. In goes Slater, just going to look to take him down. The shutdown coming in. The kick is too little, too late. Lambs to the slaughter are Loud as GAM tear their way through the team comp. Once again, making it look effortless. It's a triple. Probably could give him a penta, but they're not even worried about it. I set on the prize. I set on the win. They don't have a creep wave, but they have more than enough time to wait for it.
I don't think they need it either. Kiaya should be tanky enough with the rest of the team to just brute force this down. You saw the power of the Anathema's chain there, keeping Route locked up for almost like 3 seconds there. Didn't even get his ultimate off. Well played in there. GAM taking the victory lap.
Tinone's out, Tinone's down. GAM finding a win. Yep. Reduced tenacity, infinite fear duration. Powerful turnaround after a lackluster early game from GAM. Once they got control, they never gave it up.
But then you're in Mini-Gnar when tons of resources are going to be flying up topside. That can help, like you said, lock the Gnar in with the Olaf, and then you have nowhere to go. So this is going to be a very high now. A 3-man pincer.
This is some clean League of Legends. You get bot prio, you got jungle advantage, you're going to flash and you get the slow first. Now trying to go for the knock-up, going to fish for the knockback. Bukati just knowing he has flash to safety. Instantly EQ in, the flick back. Oh my god, Loud! No. You know, I'll leave that one for somebody else to touch on. Tinone's touching on these minions.
And it's cool because there was a thread on Reddit actually talking about how many people remember that. I'll save that because there's a dive coming in.
Ooh, flag and drag with the flash to extend. Kiaya now in trouble. There's nowhere for him to go. He hops, skips, jumps, and dies, but he will get one back in return. If you don't kill him on the all-in, he's going to heal up so quickly. He's got the Dorans, plus the Vamp Scepter, plus natural Olaf kit, so Kiaya has to be ready to go all in, ready to pull the trigger, but Robo just walks up. You see C immune, immediately just flashes on top of him. Bit of a fumble though, and the axe not quite connecting, and now, ooh, instant knockback, Kiaya. Oh, he's dancing on
He's gonna
him.
get blowed.
This should not be allowed. What is this Gnar doing? He's just killing 2 grown-ass men on the top side of the map. Look at Olaf is still stronger in the 1v1, but Gnar is sitting pretty now, getting closer to the try. Either it's so great. Conceptually, it's great. I just didn't have access to it as a kid. As Robo, he's getting walked on. Walk forward.
Getting killed.
And he's shielding, and he's dead.
And but I think here, maybe depending on the gold, and you're feeling like, hey, if we just crush them in one of these mid-games. Yeah, to be fair, the gold lead is about equal. The Dragons are equal as well.
Shotting Croc, and more than enough to come through there. Kiaya now unstoppable, just going to start to run forward. Flick back.
You know, GAM is not under pressure to force the Dragon. We're saying, I thought they could start it. They could do this or that. They don't need to because they can just play this one slow.
Okay, they're going to try to lock him up. A nice flash out. Robo flashing to commit. This is crazy. This is very over-aggressive. They're going to try to make this work, but Robo's dead. That was...
It's going to continue to inflate rapidly as the outer turrets start to drop.
It's been spotted. Literally in the river.
It's literally a swamp. You get to stay in.
Not great. That water is not clean. Robo going to walk in. He's going to get some damage down. A window of opportunity to start a fight. Croc has seen this as a window of opportunity to take a jungle camp, which he has no business taking. Croc, what are you doing? Why are you there? GAM now stepping forward. Robo next on a long list of people who are just going to get taken out before this Baron gets started. GAM can turn back. It is now A jungle-less contest coming in from the side of Loud.
Now, no jungler to do it. We'll see if they can win the fight. Still a lot of resources available to do so.
Knockback onto Tin is big. Immediate follow-up. Now the counter engage coming through. Shales into the backside is huge. Trying to get a little more damage. Slater, Feather's going to fly right back up into the air. Route. Ulti available. Candace looks to try to re-engage, but he doesn't have.
Not going to have your ultimate available. You still have your flash.
And I kind of want to see, because I think you might be right. Does a million damage. Everyone there had 100 health. I feel like you're killing at least one person. Not sure if that math checks out, but that's the general sentiment is now Robo going to be forced to use the ult defensively, and once again, Levi now finds his way to the back line. Route flashing out to safety. He saved it in the last fight, and it pays off here as he buys himself a bit more time, but the fight still turning against them. GAM, 3 members instantly
found their way into the game. GAM punishes them for having that slight moment of hesitation here, camping the brush, but you're an Olaf. You don't camp brushes.
Both stars for their teams, but Slater, I think GAM not quite as reliant on him often, whereas Route has been kind of the end-all be-all.
Not it. Since then, he has done a lot better job, and he is helping the VCS #1 seed potentially advance now to a finals rematch if you
on the Gnar. It's a lot more free time. Just step up here. About 2 waves were just deleted there by that top lane tier 2, so more money. Whoa! Is now Croc getting the engage. Theo's ready to follow up. Robo, he's being countered by the wall. They need to take it down so the Olaf can get in, but it might just be too late because Levi's here to turn around. Slater uncontested. Support down. And Levi goes again. The second stack of the ultimate. Robo desperate to turn this one back, but they do so much damage. And in goes Slater. Looking to make a montage route
around, and it allows the rest of GAM to kite forward so safely, punishing. So heads up, knowing that you don't need to commit 5 people to do it, like you're talking about with how easily Xayah shreds Baron. Just Randuin's own in Kiaya.
Slater marked up. Croc, maybe he finds an opportunity. Stun coming through, forced to flat.
Easily stepping up, hitting this inhibitor. At some point, Loud, with the wall already committed, you think they're just going to have to go, otherwise, in my opinion, short of catastrophic misplays or outplays from the opposing team. Is signing up for 6 more minutes of Phil.
I am. Maybe not.
Go.
Kiaya uninterested in Phil. The rock's coming through. He just sidesteps and kills him. GAM now going to break in. Kiaya godlike. Levi going to go forward knowing he has the full power of his team backing up behind him. Route all or nothing now. An unfair task certainly to put on one player's shoulders, but it's there all the same. GAM stepping in. Wave getting cleared, their due diligence. Kiaya flipped back onto Croc. Croc trying to find the knockup. Route untouched to the backside for now. Maybe, just maybe they can get it done. Route continuing to auto left and right, but Levi just jumps right on top of him. He goes invisible. Kiaya still stepping in. There's just too many members standing. The damage is good, but it's not enough. GAM obliterating Loud, knocking them out of the tournament, securing themselves a spot into the best of 5, a chance to make it to the Swiss stage.
Revenge for the day.
Flabbergasted. We had a lot of fun watching that one. And I'm going to say something that's a little bit unfair, but it captures how I'm feeling. Why on earth would any team degrade themselves into an all-out skirmish, bloodthirsty battle against the VCS's #1 team from a region that is more experienced with their playstyle than maybe anyone else in the world? It's a little bit unfair, I know that, but that's how it felt watching the game.
Do you want to elaborate?
Loud started so well. Yes, we got a ton of replays. I'll tell you about it in a second or two. Let's jump into the draft immediately. Any gut reactions, I think, outside of maybe the Victor last pick, a bit surprising for us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that Victor should have been in a Seer and it would have worked better. It worked out fine in the game, not because I think the Victor did anything specifically, but
when you
because
get fed a
Loud
little
kinda
bit, it
gave
helps.
the kills to them. But I actually think that Loud got away pretty good. You already had the Sai into the Kaiser, cool, you get push. You have Nautilus into Rakan, cool, you win the laning phase because of how the kit functions versus each other. And that allowed them as well to play around, guess what, early game Jungler 2 had really good priority around the mid lane on the Victor 2 because Victor's very mobile, doesn't really allow much to happen. And top lane, as we predicted, was the only one that's going to struggle a bit. I kind of also go with the sentiment of a lot of people that giving Kiaya Kazante in a matchup he's already favored in going up against an Aatrox maybe not be the best idea.
Yeah, and I do think GAM's drafting was very smart around topside. Banning the Renekton and Olaf and basically pushing him towards, with a counter pick, towards the Aatrox. Because at that point I was like, what else does he pick? Or willing to pick. So I thought it was really good drafting from GAM's side, and he just got punished overall.
I mean, listen, let's start at the beginning, and part of the reason why I was very happy with Loud until my angry outburst, I think their goal or their strategy of invading Levi, getting into that Nocturne's jungle, getting into his face over and over, it seemed to garner a lot of control for Loud, and I was quite excited about the Brazilians opening to this game.
You can see it here. This is the better draft from the bot lane coming through where you get the early priority, and this allows you to just move while the enemy AD carry is losing farm on the tower and even starting a slow push. And why they have a skirmish that's in favor of them, there's also Slater losing farm on the bot side while all this is happening. So even if you don't get a kill, it's still a win and you push Levi out. This also then allows them, after everything's come through, through. Levi's gone up to the top side. Well, guess what? Bush put, we have Slade on a reset. We can go for it again. So they just get their Lee Sin ahead, and the early game looks phenomenal for Loud in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's kind of, oh, I remember this moment.
Yes. I remember you specifically saying, "Oh no, Levi has no flash. Oh no, Levi's gonna die." Yes, he died.
And he didn't drag the red into the bush, but I was like, oh my god, that was a bit of a shock. So overall, great invade by Robo. Great overall strategy to be able to punch down towards Levi and make him really like far behind in the game. In fact, his first ulti bot wasn't successful, and I think Levi was a bit tilted because even the first flash, there were a lot of moments for Levi in the early portions of the game were just not good.
Yeah, it looked like they should just be able to carry it out from the position they had themselves in.
They should have been able to, and because of this next replay, this is where my anger comes from, and since you asked me to explain myself, every second counts thanks to reliable Cisco network. Kiaya and Slater survive the mid lane dive, they secure themselves 3 kills to turn around the game. And this was just one of many events where, in my opinion, I think Loud just overchased. They did too much. What do you think, Gopal?
No, I'm completely with you as well, but obviously a bit of a Kazante moment, but still remember, you left this champion up. I think Crow almost outplays it, just doesn't have the damage or follow-up yet from the team to come through with it. And then they continue on the engage.
Yes.
The hook from Seos on the tower just allows Levi to come in here.
Looking for a
and
flank.
gifting this double kill over to Levi is really what sends him back into the game. You spend your entire early game winning against GAM, and then you decided to say, wouldn't it be fun if we made Levi come back into the game and we can play at even footing again?
Yeah, I like ballsy plays like that when you recognize and are aware of like, oh, they don't have flashes. This makes a lot of sense because we just saw them topside, so we have a timer here, right? But they recognize that they still had flash, thought they can outplay anyways, and then that's when, as Draco's mentioned on the cast, it started to turn on them. And plays after plays, GAM is starting to win out these fights.
And on the bottom lane, I remember Loud's trying to start off that initiation onto the Kai'Sa, sorry, and they didn't have Pallet anywhere nearby. Teleport still comes in. At the end of the day, mid laner Victor gets fed, and we just see time and time again these skirmishes going the way of
And
GAM.
I get it. Kiaya is playing Kazante, okay? We've seen what the champion does, but we also have to mention while he's off that Kiaya is absolutely phenomenal on this champion.
Yes.
He is absolutely carrying them in these team fights, and he's doing so much work. This champion absolutely has to be banned against him, and he's one of the reasons why they win these fights. But even also the point that they got here was because Loud decided to 1-3-1 against the Nocturne, letting them come back into it after they gifted it. So I think Loud really fumbled the ball in this one where it could have been a way more even game.
And respect to Kiaya just in general, right? Like, sure, he has the Kazante. Honestly, he probably would just perform on any champion at this point. He's just been performing this tournament.
Wow, 12K.
He was just so instrumental this game. The solo kill that he had top lane was 1 point. The 2-man knockup that he actually had multiple 2 to 3-man knockups.
Yeah.
A lot of it was assisted by Nocturne, but in general, I think Kiaya was able to find moments that were able to turn fights for his squad. So he was blessed with the fact that Croc made the initial mistake and that Loud continued to make those mistakes to get him back into the game, or like his team back into the game, but he was always there to begin with.
And also, let's give a lot of credit to GAM. I obviously have been pretty negative on Loud. I was hoping for a little bit more after that such a strong early game. GAM, on the flip side, I think a lot of those skirmishes, they did play them well. Mechanically, they look better. I think Slater in particular, I came in with very low expectations, and let me not kid around. When you've got a Kazante diving forward and a Nocturne diving forward, and then you pick your timing to when you use a Killer Instinct, it does make it simpler. But it was nice to see how much better he looked today coming up against Root in comparison to the last time.
I also think it just shows that, you know, Slay doesn't have to need to be the carry. He just needs to not end into Route, so Route gets ahead with the game. And if you go even against him, we have the rest of the map that plays very well, so there's no pressure on Slater whatsoever, as long as he can stay even.
Closing thoughts before we go to ad break. Loud have selected blue side, so just before we go to ad break and get ready for game number 2, final thoughts as we look ahead. Loud potentially on the precipice of being 2-0'd.
I don't think they changed too much from the draft. I really like the Xayah first pick, and I think the early game was really beneficial for them. So they keep doing that. It's how you structure mid-game.